about Feng Shui, there are a number of schools of Feng Shui out there, and I want to share the one that I belong to. There is classical Feng Shui, where people would use the compass and take the degrees of the way the house is facing and this and that, and they'll go through calculations and very precise, kind of linked to astrology and astronomy. Very important. I consider that very valid. Those are layers of information that are given, and that work, it has its place, it has its purpose. There is also the form school of Feng Shui, where what matters is how we are held in a space. So we pay attention to, is a river, for example, flowing to the front of the house or to the back? If the river is flowing in the front of the house, that's very auspicious. If it's in the back, not really, because in the back, we rather want to have a mountain. It's like when you sit in an armchair, you want a solid back behind you, right? And then we want on the side, we have that white tiger, green dragon. And to the front, we want it to be nice and open, and we talk about the red phoenix. It's always better to have an open view in front of you, to be inspired, to be uplifted, than to be looking at a wall, for example, right? So farm school, and of course, is a lot more complex than that. Also is another layer of information, and it's quite valid. And I always invite people that I work with to understand that we have just different layers of information. So depending on how deep we go, we may bring all these various schools in to help us. Now, the school that I belong to and that I practice is known as the Black Hat Tantric Buddhist school. And it was introduced by Master Lin Yun here in the United States, and Master Lin Yun came from China. And he just understood that we don't live in the farmlands of China anymore. We are now living in cities where we have skyscrapers, and things are just different. So going deep in meditation, he received guidance to adapt all this knowledge that is quite valuable to the modern world. And I love that approach. And the other reason why I really love that approach, in that school of thought, we talk about how there is heaven, there is man in the middle, and then there is the earth that we stand on. And if you look, that it is, right? That's it. We always talk about heaven, we look up, right? Like blessings and good things come from heaven. And then there is us here living on this planet, and we are standing on that planet. And I love that because if you look at the symbol, or the characters of those three elements of heaven and man and earth, you're going to see that in the middle, the character for man is kind of like somebody stepping forward, like the person is in action. And I really, really love that, because for me, it's saying that man in the middle is not like a poor me sitting there and cannot do anything, where, oh, the stars were aligned in a certain way, and I'm completely kind of locked into the image of the universe in that moment. Or the form that's around me is just that way, and there is nothing I can do about it. Rather, in this school, because you are man in the middle, you can step forward and do something about it. And that philosophy kind of sits well with me, because as part of my practice, I have been studying yoga philosophy and yoga spirituality for over 25 years. And it has always been about how we, the human being here, can tap into our inner power to create anything that we want around us. So I love going to that place of knowing that I can do something about my life. I can do something about my surroundings. And one aspect of Feng Shui that exists that we don't talk much about is always that thing about the interior is a manifestation of the outer, and the outer is just a reflection of the inner. I'm going to repeat that. There is this very important principle in Feng Shui that the outer, that means your outer environment, is a manifestation of your inner life. So the outer is a reflection of your inner being. So that's the reason why we come into a space and we adjust the outer space so that the inner can be shifted, you see? So that inner world and inner work really goes with what I desire to give. Because through my spiritual practice, I have learned a lot to how to change that inner world. So now we want to bring them together. Okay? So that's really the most important principle that I'm working with. And as we're using that principle, we're going to start looking at everything that we're surrounding ourselves with and make sure that one, is it at the level of beauty that you feel like really it's talking about who you are. Deep inside of you, are you that person? And two, I'm going to offer other principles.